Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Udo Deuschle, representing today the Festo SE. We are in the heart of Baden-Württemberg, so I heard Jens Jamal saying, I do have my difficulties with other languages. Yes, I do have them too, but not with English, obviously. Hopefully, this is according to your experience. What I wanted to present you today is you had maybe the session from Bühler before. We know Bühler very well because we are in a peer group with them in SAP. And they made it very detailed. I will also give you an insight to what we have done with our S4 journey and how did we approach the whole topic. Yeah? So we have a short agenda which consists of a starting situation which might be very similar to yours or many of yours, but maybe also different. I mean, if I ask SAP today, my dear friends from SAP, how many customers are already on S4? And then they say, almost all. And of course, I do not trust them, yeah, because it's not true. And we did a lot of peer groups, discussions, and all of them faced the difficulties with S4 approach and how to launch it. And we made it since last year, October, where we went live. So I give you an insight of where did we start, going for the lean core, what we defined, what were our program goals, and what have been the drivers. I mean, you all know also, maybe, you should not make the approach to find any business cases for an S4 transformation, yeah? Because there is no. It might occur for some finance topics. As we all know, there might be, of course, kind of advantage from it, yeah, if you gain it. But in some, for a manufacturer like we are, it's quite low. Further then, fit to standard, what was our approach here? What have been the challenges? And what have been the key success factors? Yeah? What's next is very short, I can tell you in a few minutes. Good. All right. I don't want to bother you with who is Festo, what are we doing. I mean, you can Google on your own, right? What you cannot Google is what you can see here. Yeah? So we have a long SAP history. Since 1979, we do this pose over the customer number 27 at SAP. And that was one of our major challenges, as you may imagine, because we have around 91,000 we had programs and tables in the system, custom, of course. Yeah? More than 10 million lines of code. And we do have, also today, more than 15,000 users on this one single ERP instance. And alone, all these facts, yeah, will lead us to a very complex system, of course. Yeah? And we decided not go for any greenfield approach, not go for a kind of re-engineering in a global extent, but going for a selective data transition. And we called it next generation ERP. And there is a small addition made on-prem, yeah, because we all, thank you, yeah, because you know there are two streams at the SAP today. One is the public cloud, and the others are on-prem or in the private cloud. Yeah? And for us, it was clear that we stay with next generation ERP on-prem. Yeah, there was no doubt, never. Good. Lean core. We all have been used to in the past, whenever there was an occurrence of a new process to be implemented, we did it in SAP end to end. Yeah, there was no question. We have a strong workforce of 120, 30 SAP ABAP developers on board at Festo. So, well, new process, business was demanding, we put it into the system. That was working, as we saw, for the last 40 years perfectly, right? But of course, world has also changed for Festo, no question. And that's why we said, as one of the goals, we need to shrink down our ERP single instance to a smaller digital core. Yeah, so that was one of the aims. And of course, today we do dispose over a lot of interfaces to cloud services, to the BTP, which we launched. We have chatbots alive. We do have, of course, artificial intelligence connected to the system today. Yeah, and this is ongoing still. Yeah, so that's our, let's say, future major field where all our functional IT departments are working on. Yeah, and this is quite a challenge again, but very useful, because we also have to transfer, meanwhile, from a ABAP stack to certain other different technologies. And this is also, in terms of people, a change. Because we all know all these old ABAP developers, yeah, the baby boomers, they are leaving the company one by one now. And that was exactly also one of the reasons why we did it exactly now, or last year. Because we fear, and that was 100% true, without them, we couldn't make it in that time and with this quality. Yeah. Good. Program goals. We defined no unplanned downtime. We defined less than 10% additional tickets within the 8 weeks after go live. We reduced, or we faced to reduce, non-differentiating or value-creating custom objects by a minimum of 35%. We overstepped that and reduce the non-differentiating modifications by minimum 60%. Also, this was achieved. Yeah? So, I mean, modifications is more subject to be replaced by new technologies in the system. That's what we have done. And to the custom objects, I come in a minute. How did we approach this? Some minutes ago, I was saying, don't go for any business case for an S4 transformation. There is no. Yeah? But we defined other topics coming along, or what was set as an aim to be reached by the S4 transformation. And that's, of course, the customer experience. And we all know Fiori apps, and as I told you, all the cloud applications in the sales field, for example. We did a lot of new enhancements to the system with the S4 transformation. Simplification, most true also for finance. We have been on one single box anyway. We had only one controlling area. We had already a standard chart of accounts, but now we had also the AC.A. And that gained a lot to us. Yeah? And that was one of the major drivers for the simplification. Secure resilience, that comes along with our strong basis department we do dispose over. They were having a lot of new trainings. They did a lot of enhancements in their team. And I will come to this later, how important this basis team was for the transformation itself. Single point of source, I mean, well, that's something which is very clear. And usability, I have to admit, still SAP GUI is running at Festo, no question, because Fiori is challenging us a lot in terms of also when it comes to performance, and acceptance by the end users. But nevertheless, it's the future, so we are aiming for only Fiori, but it's still a challenge. Yeah. Good. That's again a statement to my dear friends of SAP. I mean, custom code and data, own produced data, and our own dictionary. It's not a burden to us, not in every case. Yeah? But it's, for us, they are assets. And that's why we decided for this, call it blue field, whatever field. Yeah? It was simply a selective data transition. And when it comes to data, I can tell you, we did a very strange approach, as we were taking over data in the finance field only for the current and the year before. All other data we left behind. And for all other areas, we took mainly all of the data with it. So you might now think about, oh, how can this fit together? Yeah. But with some, let's say, advanced, how can I say, processes together with the SNP, we made it happen. Yeah. So we came from a almost 8 terabyte ECC to a 2.5 S/4HANA system. And it's still true. SAP is not offering for every of our processes and solutions a standard solution. Simply not. Yeah. We did this in the last 40 years on purpose when we did any development in the system. Yeah. So keep the best, forget the rest. That was our, let's say, motto in order to succeed here. What was one of the approaches? We did a fit to standard process. And you can read on your own, it consists of 3 major areas. The Festo developments, the definition of a concept, and check new functions coming out of S4. The major field was, of course, our own developments, as you can see. Yeah. So what do we keep? What do we move out of the core? Because, as I said, lean core, going into a different environment, harmonize and standardize. Although we have been on a high level of harmonization already, there was still a one and only chance when you transform this into a new system. Yeah, it's a historical chance to get rid of data, to get rid of code or any additional applications which are not needed anymore. How did we do this as an approach? Of course, there was the readiness check. I mean, the readiness check was not telling that much, I have to admit. Yeah, it was a good starting point using the simplification items. But then we went on to the fit to standard, as I explained, challenging with our main heavy users and the business, and together with Spot Consulting from SAP, we brought it to a, let's say, scope of data and repository to be taken over. So we split off in two areas. One was the data migration and one was the code migration. And you can see the partners here, quite obvious. But of course, you need to have a certain instance to decide upon. Yeah? It must be fit through a funnel. And this funnel we were implementing called execution board. That was on an E level, let's say. Yeah? People from all the lines of business to decide commonly on what will be taken over and what would be not taken over, yeah? Or solved in a different way. We made very good experience with that, I can tell you. Yeah? Because always the common view was helping us to further prove, challenge, are we on the right way still? Yeah? And I can only emphasize that this was a real good approach to split off between the code and the data migration. Yeah? Split off in these teams also, and this helps us a lot. I mean, we are customer at SNP since 20 years already. And we made a lot of projects with SNP, with standard chart of accounts, with one ERP that was all in the past, yeah, carve outs, carve in. That has been all done with SNP in the past, and so partnering was for us quite clear because we knew the approach. What I have to state in addition is, and this was also what Jens this morning was mentioning, from a pure technical data migrator, SNP has really improved also to I would say, yeah, kind of company also giving us a real process hand. Yeah? And that was most true also for the finance area, for example, where we challenged a lot at SNP, but it was quite a very, very smooth then transition at the end. Good. Challenges we had, of course. We did not dispose of the new GL at start, so this was something we have done together with the project. The business partner, not to underestimate, I can tell you. Yeah? I would always recommend to have a dedicated group of people caring for the business partner. ACDoc A, ACDoc Star, a real challenge, yeah, because fitting together the CO and FI data and also being clear what to bring into the ACDoc A and ACDoc P was quite a challenge. Yeah. Margin analysis on the CO side, we decided to go completely for margin analysis and shut down COPA. That was even more a challenge, and I have to admit it's still a challenge. Yeah? The experience here is that we suffer from this two development streams at SAP, public cloud, rest of the world. In public cloud, futurely now a lot of functionalities are available with regards to margin analysis, for example, but not on-prem. So at the moment, we are starting to find ways out how to get our derivations, for example, make it run again in our, let's say, old process environment. At the moment, a huge challenge. Production versions you need to have. ACR, it's now called DRC, I believe. That's the suite for all the tax reporting or legal reporting in every complex company or country has also been a challenge to us, but that was quite, well, it's an ongoing process, but working, let's say. Good, key success factors. I mean, many of them might be quite clear to you. It's very logical that you have to make it a company project. Yeah, as I told you, without the business, without the LOB teams, you will not make it. Yeah, it's not an IT project or program. Establish an execution board. Yeah, I showed you that some minutes ago. And of course, business resources have to be sufficiently available. I mean, test management is kind of a running gag in IT or in the business also. And that's most true also for Festo at that time. Because you have to make sure that end-to-end processes are tested sufficiently. And I can tell you that means a lot if you have more than 90 legal entities on one single box, which was the case with our project. Engage the right external partners at the right time. Well, yeah, what is right, what is wrong? I can only tell you we made very good experience here with SNP again, and we also engaged SmartShift for the code migration, which was a tremendous help for us in order to get the things done within the time. Because if you do not dispose over a certain factory in order to convert the code into the S4 world, you will struggle. Yeah. Well, and there is one very particular point I wanted to emphasize, and it is system landscape. At one single point in time in the program, I was counting 15 parallel systems we established. Sandbox here, sandbox there, conversion here, another copy here, and an additional copy, and then you need to revert, and then you need to do another copy, and switch off, switch on. We could only make it because we had a very strong basis team. Yeah? And also infrastructure is very strong on our side. And I can only emphasize, without them, we would have never made it. Yeah? Good. Near zero downtime was a funny thing, because when we started, we said, come on, SNP, we did this now 10 or 20 times with you, doing a conversion, doing a transformation of data, doing a carve-out, whatever. There is again one weekend where we have to do it. Simply. And then, well, we said yes, no problem. SNP told us without near zero downtime we can make it. We did not. We found out that the runtimes have been much too high. And so we went for the near zero downtime approach. And it worked very well. I can only tell you, use it. Yeah? It's a huge advantage. And it's, well, if you concentrate on the correct, or on the right data, yeah, the big ones, yeah, then it's working. Yeah? And it worked out for us perfect, because we did it completely in time, over one weekend. As I told you, one single box, 8 terabyte to 2.5 terabyte, within the time we were expecting. Good, last not least, test management. As I told you, the running gag. It's like the other running gag is data quality, yeah, and the other one is test management. Well, you need to have automated tests. Otherwise, you will fail. So we made mass testing with an automation. And we called up more than 450 key users worldwide in order to test all the processes. And this took us really a lot of time, of course, and also a lot of resources. So we had a dedicated test team, of course. They have to have a certain knowledge how to organize such a test environment, and also how to organize the teams all over the globe in order to make it happen. So it's a big bang, and we could not allow, of course, to fail here. And that went pretty well, I have to admit. Good. I will not show you any picture now of the raw room and how many people have been coming together. It was a lot, I can tell you, and it was a big relief after we did it. More important for you might be what's next. We saw lean core. Now we are going for the clean core. And clean core is something where we, at the moment, also do not really know what is the definition of it. Clean core is now at our end at the moment, well, refurbishing the code, of course, because of course there were also code taken over where we knew, well, could be more performant or something. That's something we are doing, and we of course want to transfer into BTP. We want to transfer into an SAC, which we also have connected to our system, and so on. So we do not on purpose of we want to move to the cloud next day. Not. It's more kind of a transformation we have to do anyway. Because people have to get used to new technologies, and we have to keep the core as lean and clean as possible. We still do leverage now S4 capabilities, and that comes along with our upgrade. I heard this morning this is our last upgrade on-prem. That was told by SAP. I do not believe this, of course not. We went live with the 2021 Feature Pack 2, and we are heading now for 2023 Feature Pack 2 in October this year. It was announced by SAP for October this year. And it has a lot inside, again, to foster our financial processes, for example. As I told you, we suffer from that a lot at the moment still. And it comes along with a lot of new functionalities we might use in the purchasing and also in the production, I heard. I cannot tell you in detail, but all of them have been very convinced we have to go this way. So that's been set for Q2 in 25. Well, looking at the clock, I would say that was pretty much it. If you have questions, you can approach us after this session, no question. I have two dear colleagues with me, having also been heavily involved in this program, being also responsible for controlling and finance, but also for business partner. And you can ask me at any time when it comes to the data transformation, because this was my obligation in this program. So thank you very much, and then have a nice football, soccer match this evening. Thank you.